Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is me doing a review on Boruto, The Next Generation, episode 8, and I loved it right away. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for me. That slice of life feeling, that getting me back into the Narutoverse, making me feel like I'm back with these characters, growing with these characters and seeing their development, their future kin, phenomenal. And this is only like the 8th episode, so I'm liking this so far without any action. Beautiful. If you also watched Boruto, haven't watched Boruto, or just want to be here with me as I watch it and give my take on it, subscribe to the channel. I will also be posting other Naruto related stuff like Shinobi Strikers gameplay and any other thing anime related. That's what this channel is for, essentially. And I will be posting maybe somewhere in the future my other channels where I talk about other stuff, but let's just jump right into the review, guys. So this episode was essentially slowly pushing the plot forward. I do understand episode 1 to maybe 10 or 12 is in reference to the movie, and I was gonna skip this, but because I was told many times on Reddit that it fills in the gaps that the movie didn't, I don't want to be left without any information that may come back forward 200 episodes later. So I'm watching it, guys, and I advise you to do it too. So stay tuned if you want the synopsis and then just my overall view of the video. So it starts off with Boruto, Shikadai, Denki, and that other guy that his name always escapes me, watching a movie about a cheesy movie star that has similar powers, or before you even know that, has this ocular jutsu that would be very similar to what I believe is the TENSEIGAN, right? I'm unsure if it's the TENSEIGAN, but I'm pretty sure from what I remember that eye that Boruto has in the beginning, the first episode, is the TENSEIGAN, right? Now he thinks it's the Byakugan, right? And later on, as we'll explain, I'm kind of jumping the gun, but they watch the movie, they kind of get inspired by it, but I like how Boruto's trying to act all cool, like, this isn't realistic, this is not how shit works in the ninja world. Imagine how we're looking at it from looking at their world, right? Crazy. It's like fourth wall breaking. I enjoyed that part, but they eventually foreshadow the eye, right, with the movie, but they also foreshadow kind of like what's to come, because they mention, oh, you know, I want someone good like that, or they essentially were saying the ninja world isn't like that. It's different. People don't just come out of nowhere and start whatever, starting havoc. Because these kids, remember, they didn't grow up with Naruto and Sasuke during the 4th Ninja War, any other ninja during the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st war, or even before that. They grew up in times with the computers and technology, and kids are not fighting and they're at peace. Essentially our times. Naruto met up with our times in the Boruto saga, right? And that's very, very cool, because I never thought that would actually happen, right? I'm thinking this is all going to be in some past era type of stuff for the Narutoverse. So I really enjoyed that part as well, or just getting to experience that through how they were having that conversation, making that that analysis myself, right? So moving forward into that, essentially Boruto gets a dream from what's his name? Toneri. His name is Toneri. So I had to quickly search that up, guys. Sorry, I'm just jumping into the series. I'm an old school guy, but Toneri meets him in a dream, or comes into his dream, right? So Boruto's thinking it's a dream, and explains that eye that you're, you know, you see, like how you're able to see those dark energies or whatnot, essentially because this eye, and it's supposed to help out people, and you're gonna play this big part into, you know, using the eye to help out people, which of course is probably going to be the opposite, right? It is going to be used for something very, very big, but probably not for what Boruto wants. Duh, right? So I could already tell that's kind of being cooked up in the air, but it gives Boruto the affirmation that he is special and he has some cool ocular jutsu. So he wakes up in the morning instantly and he tries to check in the mirror, and very quickly he notices he has that, what we believe right now is the TENSEIGAN, right? So he's tripping. Can you imagine, like, you just wake up with this super cool ocular jutsu in your eye? I'd be like, holy crap, bouncing off of walls. I'm gonna go tell people, right? So that's what he essentially does. But before we get to that point, we go back to Naruto, where he's in his office working to the bone, and Shikamaru is his advisor, which I thought was very cool. I really love the dynamics at this part, because if you watch Naruto, if you watch Shippuden and you're watching this now, you know the growth. You know the growth of Shikamaru, the growth of Naruto. Yes, Naruto wanted to be Hokage, and here he is as Hokage. Amazing. But you take back and you think, Shikamaru, who better to be in that spot than him? Who better? And I love seeing Shikadai with his sharp cunningness and essentially just him being the new Shikamaru, because you always need a Shikamaru in the show. I feel like he adds a lot to the show. So to bring it back through his son, but still have him with Naruto, kind of giving us that same feel. Double Shikamaru, I'm down for. Freaking amazing. So he advises Naruto to go home and get some sleep, as he should. Obviously, this is done so we could progress the plot forward. Naruto goes home. He meets Hinata. She greets them, and she essentially says, or they overhear Boruto screaming. He says, "What's that?" Boruto's tripping out right now. So she words it something like, he's acting weird. So this makes Naruto feel worried, and you might say, why is he acting worried? She just said he's acting weird, right? Like, who cares? But he doesn't, the disconnect with him and his son, since he's always working, he only could presume that as danger, or he's just making that judgment call to say something serious is wrong, right? What's wrong with him? So he runs and he looks. This is so funny. So Boruto's all there with the little, he has like the little visor that the guy in the movie had in the beginning, and he's just kind of acting all cool, crossing his legs. I laughed when he crossed his legs because he's feeling nice, right? He just unlocked a crazy ocular jutsu. He can't wait to tell his dad because he wants some admiration from his father. You can tell that's what he wants. It's usually the female that does that, and then the male will tie towards their mother, but in this case, right, his father's the Hokage. He has big shoes to fill, so he wants in some format to make his father feel proud, whether or not he admits it or not. You could definitely see it. So he goes up to Naruto and says, "Hey, I unlocked the Byakugan," right? And this is where I kind of get, I don't like how this played out, because I get they did it once again to progress the plot, as we'll see, but it adds this level of disconnect, right? Or at the very least, it just showcased how much Naruto is in disconnect with his children or his son, because as Boruto mentioned, he's like, oh, like, I got the Byakugan, right? And then he's like, it takes a lot of training. It just doesn't come out of nowhere, and then follows up by saying your younger sister got it right away. So that just shows anomalies are very easy to happen, especially in your family with all that powerful blood in you. All that powerful blood. He has every Okatsuki blood that you could possibly have circling in this family, minus Uchiha. Sorry, you're just missing Uchiha. You know, once Boruto gets with Sarada, it's done. It's game. There's an Okatsuki right there. But I'll digress for now. All that, and then for you to denounce what he said, it just seemed a little weird. It's like, why? I would have probed a bit further. I get his logic, but I just didn't like how that went about. I feel like they just did it, deny, so he could get mad, and then he's gonna go figure it out, right? Because if you just gave him the validation, okay, well, I have it done, right? So I get it. It's just I would have, I guess, played it out better. But it did tie together later on, because Hinata says, "Hey, let's go check Grandpa Hiyashi and see if it really is the Byakugan." So there's the opportunity now, so I could prove it to you. And he says, "Hey, I'm gonna prove it to you, Dad. Watch, I'm gonna prove you wrong." It skips over to them going to Hiyashi's the Hyuga Temple, which I love this part. This went from 7 to 8 out of 10 for me right here personally, and the reason is because that piece of slice of life where Boruto kind of lead you to believe going there was due to this negative connection to the family or something, or maybe they trained so hard and he hates that. But as soon as they say go to Grandpa's, he's like, I don't want to do it, right? And you're probably like, oh, that makes sense. If you remember Neji and that whole thing, right? It's not the most funnest temple to go to from the past, but you're taken by surprise where you see the serious face of Hiyashi. Flip screen, he's like hugging them, blush face, like it's his niece and it's his grandson and grandchild, right? And but it was just so magical, because literally in my family, I have an uncle, I have a niece, I have a nephew, literally around the same age of Boruto and Hinawari, sorry. And it just looked like exactly what I would do. You know, you're all serious and stuff, but once they come, I'm a child. I'm just picking them up, hugs, kisses, just what do you want? You get whatever you want. I will spend my world to buy you all the toys, like just anything, right? And that's the energy I got. And then you have, you know, Hinabi coming out all acting all cool, like, "Hey, Mr. Hokage." And then he's like, "Okay, you know, Dad, you need to chill." And then proceeds to do it too, because like you just can't avoid that affection. I'm sorry, I understood that 1,000%. And then they added this other bittersweet kind of feeling there when Naruto addressed Hayashi as father. That was very powerful, and a lot of people may have just went past that. But if you know Naruto, you know what he went through, and yes, he did meet Minato, and he knows his dad and whatnot. It's just him having to be able to like say that right within that, it gave him comfort. He felt calm saying that, and that's why Hinabi even mentioned, "You're the Hokage. You don't have to be so formal," kind of thing, right? But she doesn't realize, I don't want that status. As much as he wanted Hokage status, he also wanted to feel like a family, right? So Naruto probably chooses to say that over anyone even think he's a Hokage, right? Maybe in other instances he wants to be addressed with Hokage, right, where it benefits him, but this specific one, he wants to feel normal because he's never gotten to feel normal like that, right? So that was very deep in that one part, or at least I thought so. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but that was very, very cool for me. 10 out of 10 in that one instant that pushed it from 7 to 8, right? So after that, they get serious. Hinawari and Hanabi start doing hopscotches, and Hiyashi, Naruto, and Boruto sit down and they talk the business. Now, upon talking, essentially, they just regurgitate the same thing in the house, right? Kid thinks he has the Byakugan. I told him you got to put more work in. He don't believe me. So what does Hiyashi do? Tells him that the Byakugan's very hard to get. You got to train very hard. And he brought up a good point, because if you remember, he's half-blood Hyuga, right? And even full-blood Hyugas don't always get the Byakugan. If I'm not mistaken, was it his... No, both him and his brother actually did both have it, right? But then was it the cloud or the mist? It was the rocks. It was the Raikage, right? In the hidden in the mountains, village hidden in the mountains. They killed his brother, right? During that invasion. So not everyone gets a Byakugan, is what I'm saying. Even if you have full blood, so half blood is even less likely, right? And we have to take away Hinawari, that anomaly. They did that. I don't know for what reason, but that's going to come back in some fashion, right? But you got to think about it like that. So they're not saying you don't have it. It's just, there's just so many hurdles. Why are you shocked that we don't believe, like we don't think you know what you think you know, is how I see it. And I love that part, because even though he was taken back by it, it reaffirmed what Naruto said. Naruto looks at him like, kind of like, oh, I feel him, but like he needs to hear this, right? And this is where it comes back, where I dislike that part. It made sense here, right? It's like, I told you that because that's the facts, and he's going to tell you the facts. So it almost justifies itself here, even though I still personally don't like how he did it. It's justified nonetheless. Right after that, they don't leave it off there. Hiyashi goes outside, he activates his Byakugan, and he challenges Boruto to see if he has it. And the episode ends. So, like, there it is. The next episode, of course, he's going to try it out, you know, try to use the Byakugan. I don't know if the Tenseigan or whatever that is going to show, and they're going to be like, oh my god, he has something, or it's just not going to activate. He's going to get frustrated and then kind of just, you know, run off or something like that. It's probably going to be the latter, let's be honest. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I did watch the movie, I believe, long ago, but I don't remember. This was like, right, 4 or 5 years ago or whatever, or whenever it came out, but I don't remember. But I did watch the movie, not the anime. So I'm very happy, because now it's just kind of not in my head. So leave a comment below if you liked how I explained everything, right? Or if you have any disagreements to how I looked at it and that's not how it is, then let me know down in the comments below. Try not to, like, you know, expose if you've watched the show. Don't just tell me because you know in 10 episodes. Just, right, based on my arguments, if you were just to only watch up until this point, dispute my points if you like, essentially is what I'm saying. I can't talk anymore. But subscribe to the channel, guys, if you want to see more reviews like this. I'm going to try to keep it 10 and below, but I had a bit more to say on this. The dudes, what I liked very quickly, bro, the slice of life. I love the slice of life vibe. I love the family vibe. I love the growth for the first gen characters, as I said. The tropes from before, I forgot to mention, they brought up the forbidden scroll Naruto stole, right? And they made a joke to explain to Boruto how someone did it and how you shouldn't do it, and it was Naruto who did it, the Hokage. So it just goes to show, you know, even if you're a little thug, you know, you could end up there, and that's what they did there too. Freaking loved it. The plot moved a bit further for me, right? The next episode, there's high anticipation, so very, very well. And the only thing I'll say I dislike was the thing I mentioned, how we delivered the news to Boruto. It just seemed very disconnected as a father to son. That was just my only personal take. So sub to the channel, guys. You already know what it is. I really, really appreciate anyone who watches, clicks on this. Even if you click and you leave, man. If you get this far to here and you watched it, bless you. I appreciate it. Take it easy.